You're listening to the Valley Labor Report with David Story and Jacob Morrison.
A good friend of yours who I've friended on Facebook a few months ago, he mentioned watching The Swamp on HBO. I don't know what I got to say, HBO. On,
Max?
Oh, nah, it's like the streaming service that you get with one of the mobile phone companies. Anyways, it's a good show. He's a ultra libertarian, and I was kind of hesitant to watch it at first because I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like this or not, But I was like, hey, he's been a good friend over the past few months from meeting him on Facebook, and I was like, I'm going to check this show out, and it was very enlightening. You probably know Gates, the representative out of Florida, the one that led the storming the hearings of the impeachment hearings and things like. Yeah, he's real good. He's a great media guy. Real good at getting his face out, but it followed him, and so even at the beginning of the movie, they're following him, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna like this at all. But it was moderate. It was a moderate. It wasn't too far to the left. It wasn't too far to the right. But it really spoke to what these representatives are doing in D.C. and the Senate are doing in D.C. and that they actually have to buy. They purchase their committee appointees. So if you're on the Ways and Means Appropriation Committee, you don't get appointed to that because you're good. You you buy it.
Right.
And how you buy it is by donating to the party through campaign donations. Whoever donated you shift those over to the party. And I'm talking about big money, $500,000 for an appointee. But it also brought up the fact that all of these lobbyists just covered up in D.C. Everywhere. And the swamp, the whole drain the swamp thing. And so I started thinking, this is relevant right now. We're going into another election cycle, and the drain the swamp was humongous in bringing support from especially the rural South. Because we've seen it for so many years, where in the Northeast and out West, where people that have the money and have the means to buy lobbyists naturally get more representation than we do. So it sounded like a good thing, but the more that I started researching it, the more that I realized the swamp has, and maybe it wasn't surprising to a lot of people, but it was surprising to me that 281 lobbyists have been appointed by Trump. 281 lobbyists has some place in his administration, and even farther than that, 7 cabinet positions are lobbyists, which is more than 8 years of Obama and 8 years of George Bush.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I
didn't realize that.
Yes, that's what. And then the further, we've talked about the Patco strike in the past, several times in the past. And would you believe who the last appointee to the NLRB was by Trump?
No, it wasn't.
Go on, say it. Yes, it was the lawyer in the Reagan administration that represented the government against the Patco workers.
Oh, jeez.
Does it get any more swampy than that? It's just, and so, but it really speaks to what. And I'm not here attacking Trump, because I think Trump's done a lot of the same things. He's probably done them worse than some of the other ones has, but he's done the same things that the left.
Yeah, well, this is. We are a union talk radio show, and so the center of our stuff is talking about unions and what they can do, but unions are one of our big things that we are called to do in the labor movement is political education. And so folks I didn't even realize that he had more lobbyists in his administration than Bush or Obama.
And this is in 3 years.
Yeah.
3 years of Trump outdoes 8 years of either administration.
Right. I mean, like, folks need to know that kind of stuff. That's important, you know?
Yep. But it speaks to what we're doing.
Right.
I feel like we're educating people in the middle. What we're doing is saying we're going to call out the left, we're going to call out the right, and you make your decision based on what you hear. Mm-hmm. But we're not pandering either way.
Right. Yep. This is the Valley Labor Report. We will be back. Stay tuned. Thanks for tuning in, folks. We appreciate your time. If you want to see what we're up to throughout the week and get our snide quips about the news of the day, then you should follow us on social media. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/Valley Labor Report. We're on Twitter at Labor Reporters. I'm on Twitter at JacobM_AL. David is on Twitter at Radical Unionist. And if you missed part of the show and want to go back and watch it later, you can search YouTube for The Valley Labor Report and subscribe to our channel. You can go back and watch the full show there, and we also clip segments and release it throughout the week. And we also upload the program on more than 11 different podcasting apps, so you can see if we are on your listening platform of choice. You can go to thevalleylaborreport.transistor.fm/subscribe. And of course, if you appreciate our work and want to help us stay on the air, consider throwing us a couple dollars a month on patreon.com/thevalleylaborreport.